problem in your life. Magnifies the problems that are all around you. Because the more he magnifies the problem, the less you'll see the solution. Less you spend time in his word.
You got to go now.
I dare you to spend more time. I see my time is slipping away. So I want to give you I told you I'd tell you a little bit about how the Word of God is very appropriate for this situation from an integrity standpoint on immigration. Now, we all know that this issue is so prominent now because there's this issue of separating the children from their mother and father. It's now on an international scale. World leaders are discrediting our leadership for what appears to be a lack of I understand our president has changed his stance. Well,
Double check that song too.
we all know
Perfect.
everything is politically infused.
What about the song?
Mm.
What about
It's
the
not so
song?
much about caring about people, as much as it is, you got a political platform, you're trying to put, you know that. But I want to talk about the Word of God to give you some perspective, because what I was hearing for a long time as I was telling people, some of our ministers and my wife, I was saying, you know what the problem is, now, I'm not
Okay, so
trying to
that's where
bring
you're gonna be
a
sitting there speaking, right?
a passage
Just like that.
there.
Yep.
I'm simply opening up your mind about wholeness. This is what happens when you pursue answers with.
And you gotta be perfect long as you get all of it.
First of
Yeah,
all, and you
you
see,
know, yeah. Okay, yeah.
everywhere we
I can see you now.
God's word does call us to obey governmental authority. Because we already said this many times in our sermons, the authorities that are given by whom? Even sometimes ungodly people have been placed in positions of power. We don't know all of the reasons. If you reveal in time, maybe not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe not. But border security is legitimate. You see the text in Deuteronomy 32:8, Proverbs 22:28, and 23:10 respectively. You see there are scriptures that support it. I'd like you to read them. Now let me say that it's interesting about the Word of God. A person can interpret the Word of God any way they want to. So no matter how much you give them a word, yeah, but that's not what that means. Yeah, that's not what it means. I'm not after right now Bible hermeneutics. What I'm really after right now is what God will download in you when you ask Him if you walk in integrity. That's what I'm really saying. You want wholeness. You want to look at things from a godly perspective. Say amen if you got it.
You have just finished listening to the Word of God brought to you by Pastor Philip S. Grant Sr. at Living Fish Church, located at 201st Street and Lakewood Avenue in Linwood, Illinois. We are now broadcasting every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 6:15 p.m. For more information on this ministry, please visit us at www.living-grace.org or phone us at area code 708-895-5690. God bless you in Jesus' name.
John, we can't keep putting this off.
Okay, I'll clean the gutters.
I'm talking about your dad.
Okay. Stay in his house.
We can make his house safer.
Yeah, I worry about the steps.
In a perfect world, there are no steps, but he does have steps, and that banister only goes halfway up. And all those little throwaways are falls waiting to happen.
So what about his prescription meds? If he forgets and takes them twice, he could get really dizzy.
Right. We could get him one of those daily pill counters, and he should have some sturdy hand grips in the bathroom and shower. This is all easy to do.
You know he's a proud guy. We're fussing wine down.
That's the idea.
For older people, falling and breaking a hip can be devastating. For more tips on making home safer, visit orthoinfo.org/falls. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons and the Orthopedic Trauma Association.
Now please, clean the gutters. Just be careful on the ladder.
Feed your spirit with music and ministry on Rejoice 102.3.
And now let's get ready for one. Antonio Lowe, Mike B, and Hellraiser from the Fresh Start Fight.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? This is Money Talks. I am one of your hosts, Antonio Lowe, and I have here two of my co-hosts, my business partners and specialists in their respective fields. My brother Mike B and my brother the Hellraiser. Go ahead and introduce yourself, fellas.
I'm Mike B. Been a real estate investor 10 years, but the last 3 years I consider myself an educated real estate investor, and I feel well about what things are going on here in Chicago, and I think the market's about to turn around, and I want to be here to make some of this money.
And I am Hellraiser. I have a vast areas of expertise. Right now my focus is on credit consulting, status correction, and I'm focusing in on assisting people that are suffering from suspended driver's licenses. So the right to travel.
All right, so again, I'm Antonio Lowe, and let me give you a little bit of background about myself. I am the owner of the Fresh Start Financial Group and several other businesses and private investment projects. I am a financial consultant with 8 years experience, and pretty much my key areas of focus include credit repair, credit boosting, contract law, asset protection, loan underwriting, promissory notes, business startups, and marketing. Now, the first thing I think I want to talk about is what the purpose of this show, Money Talks, and the goal of what it is that we're trying to accomplish right here. First and foremost, I think that our community has been misled, miseducated, and we are undereducated and given misinformation about all areas of the financial industry. We want to correct that. We want to teach and educate our people and minorities on how to pierce this financial matrix. We want to teach you the fundamentals of repairing your own credit. That's right. We want to show you how to repair your own credit. We want to teach you finance, financial literacy. We want to teach you about investing. We want to teach you how to start your own business while first spending within the community. We want to teach you to acquire and build wealth by using credit and real estate. Okay. We want you to become your own bank legally. We want you to finance any and all of your own investments or any of your business partners' investments, okay? We want to show you how to protect your assets from creditors. We want to show you how to obtain loans without hard inquiries, okay? How to underwrite yourself, how to be approved for any loan, okay? And that includes loan modifications, etc. All right, we want to teach you to understand the credit bureaus. We want to teach you where to put your money, and not necessarily money that we want to teach you where to put money that you do want to invest and money that you don't necessarily want to invest. And we'll go more on that later. We want to show you the law of contracts, some legal loopholes, and basically we want to expose all this secret information that unfortunately people have made a business out of selling to our community. I think there's an adage, an old anecdote that we're all familiar with, and that is that the game is to be sold and not to be told. And honestly, we strongly disagree, and that's what Money Talks and what we're doing here is all about. We believe that the game is to be told and not to be sold, okay? Because see, here's the thing, keep it in your community. Give it to your community first and then sell to the outside. That's the way it's done. That's the way every other race and ethnicity does it. They keep all their information and they teach it to their people before selling it to the outside communities, okay? So we believe, again, that the game is to be told and not to be sold. And so again, we're gonna go into this information. Having said that, I think one of the first things that you need to do, and you guys need to get your pens, your recorder, start recording this with your phone. Get your pens, get your notebooks, your legal pad, get everything out that you're gonna need to record this information, because everything that we tell you is what you need to achieve your financial goals, all right? The first thing we're gonna do is take you through our Money Talks syllabus, all right? So right now, the first thing that we're gonna go over, there's gonna be 13 of these, okay, quote unquote master classes that we're gonna teach you guys and we're gonna put you through, all right? Now this is also based with the assumption that you have a fundamental understanding of how credit and money works. Now, even if you don't, we're gonna fill in the gaps, we're gonna fill in all the blanks, and we're gonna go in a deep in-depth detail of all of these things. But what we're doing here is we want to assume that our listeners right now don't have a dollar in their pockets, because there are a lot of shows out there and a lot of projects and services that you can do. But that's out there, but all of this stuff assumes that you either have money, have a house, or you already have a business. Okay, well, what about the vast majority of our people, which is us, that don't have no money, have no businesses, and no home or mortgage of our own? We're going to show you how to get to the money, how to turn nothing into something. Okay, so again, here's our syllabus, the Money Talk syllabus. Number one, we are going to go over credit repair, okay, doing this yourself. We are going to go over trade lines and what they are. We are going to go over starting your own business. 4, obtaining personal or business funding. 5, asset protection, trusts, and stopping foreclosures on your own. 6, real estate investing and business investing. 7, home loans, underwriting, and car loans. 8, travelers' rights. 9, tax problems and solutions. 10, loan modifications. The rich man's version and the poor man's version, okay? Which the rich man's version is actually a home equity line of credit. The poor man's version is a loan modification. So we're gonna go into more depth on that as well. Number 11, creating money out of thin air using promissory notes. That's right, people. You can do it. You can do it 100% legally. You can create money out of nothing, okay? That's all money is. Intrinsically, it's only worth what something is only worth what you're willing to pay for. We put all of our own value on money. And yes, you can create your own money by using promissory notes. And we're gonna get into that. Number 12, the importance of investing in our own communities, okay? And 13 is gonna be, pretty much the 13th episode is gonna be a recap of all the lessons that we've learned, all of our resources and quote unquote textbooks that we're gonna be using, all right? So I think that we need to go ahead and just get right into it. Let's get started. All right. First, we're going to go with credit repair. Okay, guys? Credit repair, repairing your own credit. All right. Now, why is credit important? There are a lot of people out here, guys, that don't understand what credit is and why it's important and why we need it.
Most people scared to look at the credit score.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I've noticed personally, some people that's afraid to look at their own credit score actually have decent credit. You know,
True.
Some
I've had a lot of
some people actually have decent credit. They just assume that they didn't. It's because of stereotypes.
Right.
So
absolutely.
So that's for starters. Stop being afraid of the 3-digit numbers, even though that's what they use to categorize and the cash judgment to determine whether you deserve that new house or that new car.
Right. And the thing is, you know, a lot of people, our community and our generation has been taught to eschew or do away with credit. They've been taught to run from it. We've been taught to use our own money, basically cracking open your own safe and using your own hard-earned dollars to go and make purchases. And this is not the way it is supposed to go. That's lesson number 1. First rule of business is to use other people's money, okay? And good credit is, other than inheriting some money, good is the quickest way to build wealth. Okay, credit is invisible money that you do not have to have. Okay, you don't have to have a dollar in your pocket to be able to apply and actually qualify for a, let's say, $20,000 cash personal loan, signature loan or otherwise, or a $50,000 revolving line of credit. You do not have to have a dollar in your pocket. All you have to do is have the credit score that creditors and financial institutions want to see. All right. So the quickest way from going to $0 in your pocket to something in your pocket is, let's work on your credit. All right. Now, how to repair your credit? All right. How do we repair our credit? Well, all right, there are a lot of ways and a lot of methods that you can go about doing this. We're going to focus on only a few. Again, there are thousands of ways to do this. Okay. And if anyone who is in the industry and is worth their salt or knows what they're doing will tell you that there are thousands of ways to do this, but there are only a couple of the right ways to do it, all right? And this includes submitting letters to the credit bureaus, okay? Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, that's right, sitting down at your laptop or handwriting a simple letter to the bureau, okay? That's one method. We have another method that you can actually fax those letters, okay? You don't have to actually submit them through the mail, all right? You can take the same letters that you wrote on your computer and you can either certified mail them or you can fax them to the credit bureaus. Now, another method is calling the bureaus, okay? Now, again, I've been doing this a long time and I have seen the success rate of all of these is 100%. All right, you can use letters, you can call in the bureaus, okay, and you can fax or mail those letters. All right. Now I know some people out there saying to themselves, "Wait a minute, you can actually call the bureau and dispute some information on your credit report." Yes, people. Yes, you can. They have 1-800 numbers available with customer service representatives available 24/7 that are ready to answer your calls, okay, and see and try to rectify some of your disputes, all right? Let's see, we want to go over what tools that you're going to need. Now, some of the tools, let's get your tools ready, all right? First thing you're going to need, obviously, depending on how you're going to go about removing and repairing your credit. First, we'd like you to have at least access to a computer or at least a pen and a pad where you can write some of this stuff down and write your letters out or type them out, okay? Now, some of the things that you're gonna have to have are, number one, the FCRA, all right? Now, what that is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You can Google all this information, all right? The Fair Credit Reporting Act governs, all right, all data furnishers, all right, and credit bureaus, all these people that are actually reporting your information to the credit bureaus, all right? They have to abide by this statute, all right, that was put together. Again, that is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA for short, all right? And there is another one which governs the actual collectors. And what this is the FDCPA, okay? This is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, okay? And what this does, again, this governs the collectors, financial institutions, and how they can actually, and then collection companies, and how they can actually go about trying to collect from you, all right? Now, again, so, and you can Google this, you don't have to print it out. The FDCPA is actually quite short. That's only a few pages. You can actually Google that out and Google and print that out. But the FCRA is a lot longer. It's about 105 pages. So you might just want to keep that as a PDF on your computer or whatever. All right. One of the next things it is important that you're going to have, and that is what's called a Black's Law Dictionary. All right. Now, it's not essential that you have this, but it will help you. All right. This is just part of your toolkit and the things that you're going to need to repair your own credit. All right. So let's go over that again. We're going to need, obviously, something to record our letters. All right. We're going to need copies of or at least on our computer, a copy of the FCRA and the FDCPA. All right. If it's applicable, if you can afford to get one, they're only about $10 on Amazon. Get you a Black's Law Dictionary. All right. Because in law, it is a completely different language of its own. All right. On its own. I'm sure anybody who's ever went to court for anything can relate that there is a lot of vernacular and jargon used in a courtroom, which is completely abstract and different from anything that you've ever heard before. So I suggest getting a Black's Law Dictionary. Okay, it'll for instance, the word consideration in court. Okay, a lot of people may not know this. The word consideration in contract law and in a courtroom refers to money. Okay, you don't say money in a courtroom. You don't say money in a contract. It's called consideration. All right, that's just actually one of the terms used. Okay, so just to give you some insight onto that. Now, the last tool that we're probably going to need, of course, is a credit monitoring site. All right, now what this is basically just a soft pull for your report. You can sign up. We usually use creditchecktotal.com, privacyguard.com, scoresense.com. All right.
Scores and more.
You can use, free scores and more, Credit Karma, but you know what? I don't like those. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Credit Karma only gives you 2 bureaus. It only gives you Equifax and TransUnion. You can't get Experian from it. So you'd have to either go sign up to another free monitoring site that's gonna give you Experian. Now it's free, but
they don't give you the full account number either.
Yeah, and some of them, exactly. They don't give you you the full account numbers that you're gonna need to dispute some of your information and what have you. So, no, I don't think that's, I don't suggest doing it. Now, again, if you can, because it's not gonna cost you anything. But if you go to Credit Check Total, Privacy Guard, or ScoreSense, it's only gonna cost you $1 to pull the most recent report, all right? You can simply cancel a day later, all right? We also want to show you how to read your credit report. So now that you got your tools, let's go on to straight how to read your credit report. All right. So, Zoe, why don't you go ahead and take this, my brother Hellraiser. Go ahead. We need to teach our people how to read a credit report. So let's go ahead and go over that. We got a sample report right here, just so you can. And real quickly, we're gonna just go over this stuff, okay? We are pressed for time, so let's go over this stuff. How to read this credit report.
Okay, so real quick, the reason why you want to use those in particular type of sources to pull your credit, because it gives you a full detailed breakdown. It actually tells you the different types of credit accounts. So if you go past it, you look at your credit inquiries, the first few pages. Of course, you're gonna check Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, see if it has anything reporting any types of inquiries in that fashion. The next thing you want to look at, credit card debts, loan debts, and stuff like that. One thing to understand is all debt is not bad debt, so we got to understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. Some people are selling people packages that saying, hey, we'll wipe everything clean, but problem is you might be sitting at a 580 or 575, somebody offers you a service to wipe the whole credit report clean. Guess what? You have a 0 score now.
Right.
So
So
now
they wiped off the good debt as well. You don't want to delete the good debt. You just want to delete the bad debt.
That's
the
why proper
point.
credit evaluation is important before you even start.
Absolutely.
So the first thing we recommend you guys going to is the section where it says, one second, you see your credit card debts. At the back of it, it's going to see.
I think you're talking about the Privacy Guard reports. They give you a more in-depth detail about the breakdown and your utilization and so forth.
Right, so your credit,
total.
your credit utilization,
Yeah.
but it also tells you any accounts that's in delinquent. So if you get that report, I know Free Scores more tells you what accounts are in delinquent or what accounts are in default. So those are the first accounts that you want to address first. The accounts that are in delinquent status.
And you're gonna know they're delinquent because it's what it's gonna say is, under the actual account name, it'll let you know whether or not it's potentially negative or the account is in good standing. So that's the first thing you wanna look for, is all potentially negative accounts. Now, these accounts will also have keywords next to them. They'll be charged off, okay, or they'll be in default, all right? That's the first thing. You wanna focus on just the bad accounts. Don't worry about missed payments right now, all right? We'll get to that stuff later. Yes, missed payments can be removed, but again, we'll get to that later. So right now, we're just focusing on negative accounts. These are charged off accounts or accounts that have been sent for collections, all right? So very briefly, the only accounts on your credit report that you need to focus on are negative charged off accounts or accounts that have been sent to collections. We'll get to the other accounts later, all right? Now, that's just a very brief summary on how to read your report, all right? Now, real quickly, we're gonna go through the exact letters, some of the exact letters that you may need to submit to these credit bureaus, all right? And we're also gonna go real quick into the difference between submitting to the bureaus and then submitting to collection companies. Because yes, people, just because you submit your stuff to the bureaus does not mean that the collection company will 3 months later or 4 months later not sell your debt to another collection company or re-report it again with a new account number. So it's very important that when we submit letters, they must be submitted to the credit bureaus and the collection companies, okay? Now, it's a little bit more work, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. If somebody told me that they was gonna give me $20,000, okay, and all I had to do was sit back, spend about $10 and about 2 hours worth of my time once a month, you know what? It's really a win-win for me. There's nothing to talk about, all right? So very simply put, don't be lazy, my brothers and sisters. Do not be lazy. Persistence is the key, all right? We got to submit these letters. Now,
Managing our credits, managing ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. So some of the letters, real quick, are number one, a 605A letter, okay? That's 605A letter. You can use a 605B letter, or you can use 609, a 609 letter, or a letter specifically talking about 611, which is called a 611. Okay, now what all these numbers refer to is their relevance to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Okay, for example, let's see here, where is our copy? Bear with me for a minute, people. We're just looking at the contents of the FCRA, and you remember that as the Fair Credit Reporting Act, okay? Section 605, which is the 605A letter, talks about identity theft prevention, fraud alerts, and active duty alerts. The 605B letter goes into the blocking of information that results from identity theft, okay? The 611 letter specifically talks about the procedures in the case of disputed accuracy, all right? And again, those letters, all you have to do, the 605A, 605B, the 609 letter, and the 611 letter are available on Google, okay? There are various forms of this letter that you can download and print out. But those are the key words that you're gonna type in. 605A letter, 605B letter, 609 letter, or 611 letter. Okay, now these letters, again, they're in reference to do with credit repair and credit repair only. All right, now those are the specific titles of the letters that you're going to need, and again, you are going to need to Google them. All right, and just real quickly, we can actually go over a sample letter or what one is supposed to look like. Or what it should say, actually. All right. Now, this is an example right here of a section 609 letter. Okay. Now, at the top of this, I have a name. I have who it's to Experian, okay? P.O. Box 9701, located in Allen, Texas, zip code 75013. I have the date of birth and the social security number of the individual, okay? After that, RE, FCRA section 609, a request for documentation for the following accounts. All right. Now, what that is basically a legal way of saying I want a request for validation. I want you to provide the original creditor's documentation, all right? So I have the name of the accounts, the account numbers, and you just put them in a simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many accounts you have, okay? And the letter's gonna read like this. To whom it may concern, now bear with me, I'm gonna read a little fast here, all right? To whom it may concern, I am formally requesting a copy of the original creditor's documentation, media, and/or any verifiable documentation for the aforementioned accounts that Experian is reporting on my file. This is not a request to validate. Under Section 609 of the FCRA, Experian should not be reporting these accounts without documentation on file already. If no documentation can be provided, Experian must remove these accounts immediately. And according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 609A, Experian is required by federal law to verify through the physical verification of the original signed certified consumer contract of any and all accounts you request to be posted and or reported on a credit report. I demand to see a copy of the verifiable, validated proof and original consumer contract with wet ink signature on it. I want copies of the copies, okay? I want copies of the copies and that you have on file for this account listed above and under the FCRA. Unverified, invalid accounts must be removed. Again, this is a request for documentation which Experian must provide under Section 609 of the FCRA. It is my belief that Experian does not have the right to report these accounts. I am maintaining careful records of our correspondence. This is my 4th attempt to correct your records. The law is very clear as to the civil penalties that may be incurred for the negligent or willful noncompliance, which is Section 617, if you fail to comply with this federal law. Although I prefer not to litigate, I will use the courts to enforce my rights under the FCRA. I am requesting documentation, not validation or an investigation. I am aware of the following case law and legal precedents: Wenger versus TransUnion Corporation, Cushman versus TransUnion Corporation. Best regards, XYZ. Okay, now that's an example of a sample letter that you should be submitting to the credit bureaus and to the collection companies. All right. Now, how do we submit? How do we submit, guys?
How to submit. This is one of the most important parts of the process. How to submit. One of the most effective ways you can submit these dispute letters is by certified mail. The reason why you want to use certified mail is because you're creating a paper trail of a contract. Because once you send these disputes off to these credit bureaus certified mail, now it's no more he say, she say. Now these people have to abide by the laws presented. And the whole purpose of doing the Fair Debt Collection Act is because we want to apply the certain clauses and laws that back up.
You're
our
just
claim.
leveraging
That's
laws that exist. Remember, guys, in law, ignorance of the law is no excuse. All right? There's nobody to police these collection companies and these credit bureaus and make them report accurate information. That is your legal right. The burden is not on you to prove or provide anything. The burden is on the collection companies and the credit reporting bureaus to provide accurate information. And if it's not accurate, guess what? They have to remove it by law. You can sue these people for $1,000 or up to $10,000 per occurrence, per deletion. And we have the legal resources and the legal team to take care of it for you. So, Hellraiser, you talked about certified mail. We can also fax it in. Okay, you can fax it to the credit bureaus. You can just Google their fax numbers, or you can call them. All right. Now, real quickly, after you receive a letter, and I think this is one of the most important parts, and Mike B, I think you can agree with me on this. What to do after a letter is received. Okay. Now, look, when you get a response from the credit bureaus or the collection companies, you keep going. I've had 1 million clients that said that they tried to do their own credit repair, and the only thing that stopped them was the fact that they got a letter back that said, no, this is your debt.
And they didn't realize that they needed to continue with the follow-up.
Exactly.
You have to continue. Because you get one no doesn't mean that they even researched it.
Bro, it took me 6 times for my own credit, okay? To get 100%, it took me 6 different deletions. Not for my wife, it took her 2. Don't ask me why, go figure. All right, but it took 6 tries for me. We don't take no for an answer. We do not take no for an answer. Okay.
I'm ready to fight and go around.
Yes, if it takes 1 month, perfect. It could also take 6 months, but that's a small price to pay. All right, to be debt free and to wipe all of the stuff off your credit. And just to go over again, with a good credit score, with no negative accounts, you can qualify for loans, credit cards, and all of the things that you want that are going to get you financially stable. Okay, all right. So check it out, guys. Again, this is Money Talks, and we are the Fresh Start Financial Group. Now, we're telling you how to do these things, but if you do not want to do them yourself, we can do them for you. If you want to schedule a free consultation, or if you want to talk to us more about the services that we have to offer, let me tell you right now. You can call the Fresh Start Financial Group at area code 708-503-3404 or toll free 1-844-495-7800. Again, Fresh Start Financial Group, DeleteMyDebts.com, and we can be reached at 708-503-3404. I am Antonio Lowe, my brother Mike B, and my brother the Hellraiser.
This is Hellraiser. If anybody suffered from suspended driver's license for child support, for any
contact us.
Text 773-916-7139. Holla at y'all later.
Thank you for your time, people. We love you, and we're going to teach you everything.
Fast as hell.
Yeah, she went too quick, bro.
That's the first half, or that's the whole show?
That was your weekly dose of financial knowledge from the Fresh Start Financial Group. Make sure to tune in every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. on Rejoice.
We gonna really have to consolidate this stuff.
Evangelist Rochelle Nelson was a clarion call for
Hey,
years.
I'm gonna tell you the biggest thing about it is we gotta actually bait them. You set them up bait talking about this. One thing we didn't talk about is when we go from the personal credit, we need to go right into business credit. Yeah, you just made, I see.
That's why I need y'all, bro. Even if we can't get together, let's conference call. So even if we can't get together, let's conference call so we can get our outlines together and our timing. You know what I'm saying?
I say we already got it.
Yeah, I'm motherfuckers talking. Y'all talking some shit.
I say we already got it. It's all about queuing in and queuing out. You know what I'm saying? Setting each other up for the ball. That's all. Doing this, that's gonna say something. We already got it in our head. You know what I'm saying? All we gotta do is talk about it. All we gotta do is talk about it.
Just going to it.
Because we ain't got time to do a full class.
No, we got that. I think one thing I don't agree. We just have some what we gonna talk about. And that's all it is, bro. That's all I get.